Hello everyone and welcome to a new top tips video for archaeology graduates. Today I'm joined by Rebecca. Hi Rebecca, how are you?
I'm good, I'm great, thank you. And you? How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about your role. What are some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis? What is it that you do?
So yeah, currently I'm head of the Digital Heritage Division at the Swiss Film Archive in the non-film department. So to have a bigger idea of what I'm doing every day, so the non-film department includes everything that is film related. So it can be posters, it can be negative, archives. And we have a lot of archive from directors and actors. And so the current job with the team are in 3 different aims. It is 3 different aims. The first one is the digitization, because it's something like we have seen with the COVID-19, that digitization to put collection online are very important. So that's the first aspect of the digital team in the non-film department. So it's digitizing posters, digitizing cameras. So you have 2D digitization and 3D digitization. So it's 2 different techniques. The second aim, of course, is the digital archiving of the data, because you digitize a lot of things. You receive a lot of digital data. So the second question is, how do you ensure the long-term preservation of the data? And then the last, the last big aspect of the job is to develop the best dissemination tools to put online the collection. Yeah, so that's the 3 main objectives and aims of the divisions.
So what are some of the things that you enjoy about your role?
Yeah, it's very, yeah, it's so diverse and there's so much going on, and yeah, and you have to always keep a look at the new things going out. So yeah, it's a very stimulating job. It can be also sometimes challenging to keep the track of everything, but yeah, it's a very rewarding job. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. And specifically at the end, when you see that you can put online the collection and give the people some hints into the film collections. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was going to be my next question, which is, what do you find more challenging about your role? I guess particularly under COVID, you must have had a lot of interest in digitized material.
Yeah, so we have, so I arrived in the middle of, at the end of the first lockdown. So it was, I did not leave the first lockdown in this institution. So I cannot say what was the challenges during the first lockdown. But yeah, it's, to organize the teams with, not everyone can go on the premises, so yeah, you have to have a good logistic approach to it. Yeah.
And now there are other challenges that you're facing in the job beyond COVID, or is it sort of mainly related to that, to getting the team working together?
Oh, it's a specific lockdown and COVID aspect of the challenges, but you have the more challenges that you can encounter with digital world is that you have everything can go very obsolete. So you have really to have to keep track on the best way and the best strategy to apply to the work. Yeah.
So you're constantly having to learn about new technologies, I guess, to move things around between different formats.
And to keep an eye on standards and what the university and are studying to keep track on what is currently doing in the university and how to apply it in the day-to-day life.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you became, or you took on this role? How did you get this job?
So it was, it was serendipity. I would like to say it. It was during the first lockdown, and there was this need of having in the non-film department a digital division. So the people in the non-film department took the time during the first lockdown to reflect on how to include more broadly digital skills to the departments. So that's when they created the division. So that's so it was I was at the right place at the right time. So it was serendipity. I mean, it's really that for sure. But going back on my background, it was I first have a background in conservation, and then later on I did my master's degree in digital heritage in York. So it was this assembly of conservation skills and digital skills that put me in the right place, maybe, or
So partly it's being in the right place at the right time and the circumstances, but you had to be the right person when that right place arose. And for you, that was the mix of your background in conservation and then adding on those digital skills from the masters at York. I think sometimes people like to downplay their own skill set, but if you were the right person with the right skills at the right time, you wouldn't have got the position. So it's your background and ability as well as that kind of serendipity. And I think a lot of people have said that to me, and I think that some of the reason is being open to what comes up and taking opportunities when they arise. So perhaps not being very narrowly focused on one thing, but perhaps seeing those opportunities when they arrive and saying, yes, I'm going to try that out. And then like you find a role that you find incredibly rewarding and you're obviously very passionate about, which is really nice.
And I was also very lucky that the people in the non-film department gave me a chance to take that on, because it was it was a big undertaking. So I've been lucky because the people gave me the chance to join the team. So
That's great. So can I ask you, what do you value from your master's degree then? What skills do you think that you've got? I guess both the kind of specific skills from the digital heritage masters, but perhaps some of the transferable skills as well.
So the first thing that comes to mind is obviously the digital skills. It was very, especially as I have a conservation background, so I wanted to do digital skills, but you have to start somewhere, and it was really great to be able to have a master's where you can learn from the start, and then later on to have an intermediate level, and later on, if you do your dissertation on 3D, for example, on 3D digitization, then you can really start with the basic, and then later on finish with some very good and very transferable skills for the team. The first one that comes to mind is the modules in photogrammetry, 3D modeling, and also the digital archiving. Theoretical background was very helpful. Also, on the more theoretical aspect is also that I learned in York, and I was very impacted in my professional experience, is that you have to think about why we are doing digitization. The why is very important, because I mean, there's so much digital tools around. It's not because you can do it that you have to do it. It's because the why, and that's that question I was very able to build on during the course in York. And also to follow on that point is to understand the audiences. because if you don't try to understand your audiences, you just it is not going to work. So that's the theoretical aspect that I've learned in York, and that was very helpful. And I mean, I was also able during my master's in York to do the to undertake placements. So it was also very helpful to have the professional experience with people in Jersey and with people in the Christian and Culture Center. It was very helpful to build on the digital skills, and yeah. So it was a very complete set. I like to say,
yeah. It's nice. It's completely felt like you'd really started at the beginning and worked your way through the different skills, which is really nice to see.
And you have to find a specific domain, because I mean, digital is so big, you cannot be a digital person. It doesn't exist. So you have to choose a specific domain. And for me in York was more about photogrammetry, and that's some things I was able to bring along at my new job, is the 3D digitization of the object.
Yeah. That's nice, thank you. So finally, can I ask, what are your top tips for any graduates sitting there at the moment thinking, I'd love to be doing that kind of digitization work and working with photogrammetry and 3D digitization? What advice would you give?
Well, for the degree, I will start with to get the most of it, to be very curious and perseverant, because sometimes you have to be perseverant to especially with computers. So don't give up. It's all right. It's gonna be fine. And also also there is the great thing about York that I was also I would also like to mention is it was great to have teachers and professors that you can feel that the passion for what they're doing, and so it's very you want to learn everything that they say, and you have to observe every word that they're saying. So it was very great, and especially I was just also when I first started the masters, I was afraid because it's not my first languages, so it's not my first language, and so it was very great to be able to learn more English and to present more English, because it's something to read, it's something to write. But to speak English is something that you have to learn and to how to say it, and to practice a lot. And so it was. But my top tips is be curious and don't forget the England child finds. It's very helpful aspect of it as well. So
I like that. Don't forget the social life and getting involved in the social life. But that's some wonderful advice to persevere, but then also to be curious, to keep that curiosity as you go through. I think it's really useful advice to hear. And I've really enjoyed talking to you. You obviously loved your time at York, and now you have a really interesting job in which you must be making a big difference as you've brought those skill sets to it. So thank you, Rebecca, for joining us today.
Thank you, Benny.
Thank you to everyone out there for watching. Join us again next time for more top tips for archaeology graduates.